This is the story of a great man who left an impression of his thoughts and deeds not only on Britain, but on the entire world. The name of this person is Winston Churchill. His life journey is a story of struggle, indomitable courage, and patriotism, from which every person can learn something. Winston Churchill was born on the 30th of November 1874 in Oxfordshire, England. His father, Lord Randolph Churchill, was a member of the British Parliament, and his mother, Jenny Jerome, was of American origin. Churchill's early life was full of struggle. He received his early education at Harrow School, but he was very weak in studies. Seeing his performance in school, no one had thought that this boy would become the Prime Minister of Britain in the future and make his own identity in world history. However, Churchill had the determination and confidence to do something different since childhood. Beginning of military service. Churchill was inclined towards military service from the very beginning. In 1893, he enrolled at the Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst, and completed his education. In 1895, Churchill entered the British Army and served in countries like Cuba, India, and Sudan. He was not only a soldier but also a journalist. During the war, Churchill shared his experiences through articles in newspapers, which also made him known as a famous war correspondent. Entry into politics. After military service, Churchill entered politics. He became a member of the British Parliament for the first time in 1900. He was initially associated with the Conservative Party, but later he joined the Liberal Party because he disagreed with some of the policies of the Conservative Party. At this time he became famous for his speeches and reformist views. In 1908 he became the President of the Board of Trade in the British Cabinet. He passed several important laws to improve the condition of workers, including issues such as minimum wages and workplace safety. His policies made him popular among the public. Although he had his critics, Churchill's perseverance and confidence always kept him going. World War I and Winston Churchill. Churchill's career reached a turning point when he was made the Lord Admiral of the Navy in 1911. While in this position, he took many important steps to strengthen the British Navy. This step proved to be very beneficial for Britain during the First World War. But a wrong decision of Churchill, known as the Gallipoli Campaign, proved to be a major failure for him. Britain suffered heavy losses in this campaign, and Churchill was blamed for it. As a result, he had to resign from the post. This was the most difficult period of Churchill's life. Not only did he have to face political criticism, but it was also a very disappointing time for him on a personal level. He felt like a complete failure, but he was not going to give up. To overcome this failure, he started focusing on painting and writing. World War II and Churchill's leadership. Churchill's true leadership and greatness came to the fore when the Second World War began in 1939. At this time Britain needed a strong and visionary leader, and this responsibility fell on the shoulders of Winston Churchill. He was appointed the Prime Minister of Britain in 1940. When he took over this post, the power of Nazi Germany was increasing rapidly and many countries of Europe had been defeated by Germany. Britain was also facing a great danger. Churchill said in his first speech after becoming the Prime Minister, "I have nothing to offer you except blood, toil, tears and sweat." These words touched the hearts of the British people. His greatest strength was that he never gave up. He was always ready to face every challenge and inspired people to not give up either. Struggle against Nazi Germany. Churchill took a tough stand against Germany. Under his leadership, Britain not only withstood the German attacks but also responded strongly to them. Churchill's famous statement, "We shall never give up," gave courage to the British people. His strategy and vision kept Britain standing strong even during the most difficult times of the war. During the Second World War, Churchill, along with US President Franklin D. Roosevelt and Soviet Union leader Joseph Stalin, planned to defeat Germany and its allies. Under his leadership, Britain won many important battles, the most important of which was the Battle of Britain. This war proved that Churchill's leadership could keep Britain among the world's greatest powers. Post-war politics. After the end of World War II, Churchill was seen as a great leader around the world, but his party lost the elections in 1945 and he had to step down as Prime Minister. However, he did not retire from politics and became Prime Minister once again in 1951. During this time he worked for peace and international cooperation. In 1953 he was awarded the Nobel Prize, but this award was not for peace, but for literature. Churchill wrote many books based on his life experiences, his most famous work being The Second World War. It was for this book that he received the Nobel Prize. This was another important aspect of his life, that he was not only a politician but also a great writer and thinker. Last days. Churchill's life was a symbol of struggle and greatness. He spent the last years of his life away from politics. He died on the 24th of January 1965 at the age of 90. The whole world mourned his death. Millions of people attended Winston Churchill's funeral, which was a symbol of respect and reverence for him. Churchill's legacy. The ideals and values that Winston Churchill established in his life are still relevant today. His life teaches that no matter how adverse the circumstances are, if you have courage, confidence and determination, no obstacle can stop you. He never gave up and faced every challenge with his indomitable willpower. Churchill taught us that leadership is not just about being strong, but also about making the right decisions at the right time. His story tells us that failure is not the end, but the beginning of a new opportunity. By taking inspiration from his life, we can understand that if we believe in ourselves and remain determined towards our goals, we will definitely get success. Winston Churchill's life also teaches us how important it is to have patience and courage in times of difficulty. His great ideas and leadership skills gave a new direction to not only Britain but the whole world. His legacy lives on even today, and he will remain a source of inspiration for generations to come. Thus, Winston Churchill's life journey is a unique example of struggle, courage, and leadership, which teaches us that we should never give up in any situation to realize our dreams. His great deeds and principles have made him one of the greatest leaders in history. His story is a symbol of true leadership, courage, and patriotism, which will always inspire us.